This is measurable and consistent. And that's what you're going to hear us talking about today. Some of these ways. Do you mind me asking, just before we get into your 7 principles of persuasion, on that negative front, I know that it is a drum you are constantly beating, and I greatly appreciate that. In your book and everything you do, you say ethical use of influence. Just give us a teaser or help me understand what that means to you, what we should be doing to make sure we're not being unethical in using these tactics.
Yeah. So what I say is that these principles of influence, like I'll just list them, reciprocation, that people want to give back to those who have given to them. Liking, people want to do business with the people they like. Authority, people will follow the lead of legitimate experts. Social proof, people want to follow the crowd. Unity, that we've already talked about. Scarcity, people will want those things that are rare or scarce or dwindling in availability. Commitment and consistency, people want to be consistent with what they have said or done, especially in public or in your presence, right? Well, here's what I say to make those work ethically. You never counterfeit them. You never fabricate scarcity where it doesn't exist. You never claim that there is authority evidence or authority voices. There are authority voices supporting what you do. No, you find those things that are naturally there in the situation and you simply point to them. That spurs people into action when they see that there's true scarcity, there's true authority, there's true social proof, but you have never deceived them. You have only educated them into assent. You have informed them into yes. Not only do I think that's not objectionable, I think it's commendable to give people better evidence about how to comport themselves in a particular situation by seizing scarce opportunities that are dwindling or moving in the direction of what authorities are claiming. I mean, legitimate authorities are claiming makes sense, this kind of thing. That's the way to differentiate manipulation from persuasion.
I really appreciate that. I wish I could say I'd never seen that used in the negative ways, but it's a sales tactic. Scarcity in particular gets used as an exploitive sales tactic when it's not there. The threat of competition in particular, like I'm thinking like sponsorship deals in the world of sports. Just to repeat those 7 principles of persuasion, just so we're all aware of what you just heard Bob say: reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, social proof, and unity. Obviously, you have to read the book to go deep on these. But Bob, if you don't mind picking 1 or even 2 off, for those of us who are behaving ethically and responsibly and using these, I personally believe anybody who wants to be a great leader or a great salesperson, needs to exert some level of influence. I bet you there's a couple of those 7 that come up constantly when you're educating business folks. Do you mind sharing?
No, not at all. I think that the one that business people try to use most is liking. They recognize that people want to do business with those who they like, who they feel a rapport with. And it turns out there are 2 very simple things we can do to increase the extent to which people feel that bond with us. One is to point to genuine commonalities that exist between us. There was a study done of negotiators, and it was a difficult negotiation. And in 30% of the instances of this kind of negotiation, they were stymied. They were deadlocked. Nobody won. Everybody walked away as a loser from the negotiation. Except if the researchers who were studying this asked the negotiators to send some information about themselves ahead to the other party before the negotiations started. And they learned of some commonality. Oh, you're a runner? I'm a runner. You're an only child? I'm an only child. And stymied negotiations dropped from 30% to 6%.
Wow.
So all we have to do when we try to influence somebody is find out ahead of the ask something that we have in common with that person. We can go on LinkedIn, we can go on Facebook. People tell us these things about themselves, and we find them. Again, we don't counterfeit them. We don't manufacture or fabricate them. We find something that's in common. We bring it to surface, and people just want to do business with us, right? That's one.
I just can't resist re-quantifying that again. That was 30 to 6%, almost 1/5 the likelihood of a stymied negotiation, just with some introductions. But
Right.
please continue with your second point.
Let me add something to a negotiation. All right.
Yes, please.
It's a different principle. It's the principle of authority. If you are negotiating on the cost of an event or some kind of product or service that you're providing or a budget for something that you want, and let's say it's $200,000 is what you figured out that the cost to you to provide this would be $200,000 and 108 additional dollars, right?
Mhm.
In the negotiation, you would typically say it's a $2,000 budget. And this is what I need. That's a mistake to lop off the precise number because you seem more of an expert if you say $200,108. It tells people that you've done your homework. You figured it out. You've looked at all the costs. You've looked at all the expenses that it's going to, and you give them the precise total, not $200,000, which sounds like, well, maybe you just pull that out of the top of your head or someplace lower, but if you say that you give them the precise number, research shows you get less pushback on that budget if you've added $108 to it.
I'm taking notes here, by the way, because
Amazing.
we made the mistake of just we make for round numbers just to make it easier to read.
Never round.
Mm.
Always precise. Remember in school, your teachers in math and in science classes said, on your test or on your homework, don't give me the answer. Show your work.
Right.
Show me how you got there. That's what I'm asking your listeners to do.